All right, so some sad news to talk about as Ryan Jensen, the center for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Pro Bowl center, maybe has played his last game in the NFL, according to the reports. I'm just going to read the reports from Ian Rappaport. The Bucs will place Ryan Jensen on season-ending injury reserve thanks to the complications from the knee injury that robbed him of nearly all of last season. The injury is so significant that Jensen had likely played his last down in the NFL. Rappaport would then go on to say Ryan Jensen elected to not have surgery last season after serious knee injury, somehow playing in their playoff game. It'll almost certainly be his last game. So it reads as though, and we don't know exactly the situation, but it kind of reads as though because he decided not to have the surgery right away and ended up playing in a playoff game and sort of toughed out the injury, now that might mean that he's not playing in the NFL ever again because of the complications, which, like, the immediate thought that I think you have to have in this situation is just to him and his family and to hope that he's okay, right? I mean, this is a scary thing. Football is obviously such a dangerous game, and the concern that of, like, what is it like? Is it just that he won't be able to put enough power on it to be an NFL athlete, but he can still walk around, which is what I think we're hoping. There's obviously worse case scenarios than that. So I think that has to be stated. And it's also part of why, there is kind of this culture. I feel like we see this in hockey a lot too, of like, you're almost expected to play when you're injured and tough it out and all of that stuff. And it's just really not worth it, right? I mean, like, we don't want to see people have life-altering damage due to the fact that, just to play the game, as much as we like seeing them play, like, it's just not worth it. Take the time, get the surgery you need, and be ready for the future. That's what you have to, that's what you should do. And again, I totally get these are the most competitive people in the world. So I'm not blaming any athlete for wanting to go back on the football field. That's what they do. That's what what they want to do. So I totally understand it from Jensen's perspective, and anyone who's, I'm a Tampa Bay fan. I was very happy when we won that Super Bowl, and he was certainly a part of it. Anyone who's watched him knows he's not someone who gives it 99% at any point. He's always giving it his all. He's always going out there. He was never going to say, you know what, I'll make the best move for me. I don't care about the team. That's just not who he was. Not who he is. He's still alive. Not who he is as a player. He's someone who, is, he's always going to give it his all. And so, of course, he's going to try and figure out a way to get back on the football field when you have Tom Brady and when you're in the playoffs. Of course, I get it. And certainly, I think some people might say, man, it wasn't even worth it. That playoff game was a disaster. But keep in mind, they were only a couple-point underdogs in that playoff game. Like, obviously, in hindsight, it was terrible. But at the time, I see why he wanted to go out there. It just makes you wonder, and we don't know all the details, so it's easier to say this from the outside, but, like, should he have been in that game? Should someone have said, you know what, we're not letting you play in that football game? Absolutely not. There's too many issues here. And should someone have said, you need to have the surgery right now. You can't be waiting on this surgery. Like, yeah, it means you can't play at the end of the year, but oh well. You have to deal with it. Again, that's how it looks on the outside looking in, but we don't know the details, so we're going to have to wait for that to come out. As a whole, though, I think the kind of broader point I would make is that when someone doesn't play because they're injured, even if it doesn't seem like, it's like, oh, why don't you just tough it out? Why don't you just, there's reasons for it. And it's not a bad idea to sit out a game if it could risk your future health in a significant way. So, sad story from Ryan Jensen's perspective, and I think all you can really do at this point is just hope that he, as a person, is okay. And that's all I really have to say about that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.